lesson so far, it would be awesome if you could leave a review. It really helps me out and they make all the difference. If you have a question or would like me to include some additional content, feel free to send me a private message. Thanks, and I wish you all the best for the rest of the course.
Even though I already talked about cardio before, I decided to add a more in-depth lesson on the topic. This was due to the fact that there are a lot of misconceptions about cardio out there that need clarification. To help you understand how to use cardio most effectively, let's define it first. When talking about cardiovascular activity, we usually mean some form of aerobic endurance exercise that increases the heart rate over a longer period of time. This is usually done with the purpose of increasing energy expenditure and thus losing more weight. When wanting to maximize fat loss, common questions include things like what type of cardio is best, when should you do it, and for how long. Now, I would love to give you an easy answer for all of these questions, but the truth is, it always depends on your specific situation and your other fitness goals. I will elaborate on this in a second, but note that most people have to do a lot less cardio than they think. Why? Because it isn't necessary for weight loss in general and fat loss in particular. Let's look at the two most common beginner scenarios. In the first scenario, you're a skinny guy or girl looking to build muscle. According to the muscle building formula, you should focus on strength training to build muscle while maintaining a calorie surplus to provide your body with the necessary energy. In this case, you should always limit your cardio in order to ensure your calorie surplus. So far, so good. Now the second case. You might be a little overweight or simply want to lose fat. Here you should also primarily focus on strength training. This will make sure that your weight loss is mostly fat instead of muscle. And of course, you need a calorie deficit to set in motion the process of weight loss. Interestingly, these two factors by themselves would be enough to lose fat while maintaining muscle mass. So where does cardio come into play? In this case, it's an additional tool you have to further increase energy expenditure. This means that your calorie deficit is not enough and you don't want to increase it, you can do cardio to help your body burn more calories.
I'm drunk, I'm high, but I'm both right now. Got me talking about my life. I don't usually do this unless I'm drunk.
This brings me to my cardio recommendations. In general, there's no best cardio because different people will prefer different types of exercises. But as a general rule of thumb, shorter and more intense cardio sessions will be more effective at burning fat than longer and less intensive ones. As for when to do cardio, it's really up to you and just see what works best for you. This recommendation is a little different from the normal advice you get. Most fitness gurus will tell you to either do cardio first thing in the morning on an empty stomach or right after your workout. However, these two options turn out to be no more effective when looking at the actual science behind it. The problem with cardio on an empty stomach is that even though it increases lipolysis, which is the amount of fat that is broken down, it doesn't increase fat oxidation, which is the amount of fat that is actually burned. So all the fat that is broken down but not used as energy will just get restored as body fat afterwards. As for cardio after your workout, the idea behind it is that because your body's glycogen levels will be depleted as a result of the workout, more body fat will be used for fuel. However, strength training usually only depletes glycogen levels around 20 to 30%, and even then, the thought that doing cardio with low glycogen levels will increase fat loss isn't backed by any scientific research. To wrap up my cardio recommendations, if you haven't already created a calorie deficit through your diet, do enough cardio to reach one afterwards. But please don't wear yourself out in the process, because remember that your body needs time to rest as well.
I'm drunk, I'm high, but I'm both right now. Got me talking about my life. I don't usually do this unless I'm drunk, I'm high.